Good morning, everybody. This is the regular scheduled meeting of the Syracuse Landmark Preservation Board. Today is January 29th, 2026. Present at today's meeting are
Howard Trish.
Nicole Fragnito.
Jeff Romano,
Hillary Donahue.
Martha Hertzberg, Corporation Counsel's Office.
Amber Dillon.
And Kate Atwater.
any excused for board?
Yeah, Kyle and Julia are absent today.
Okay. May I have a motion to accept the minutes of the meeting of January the 8th, 2026?
All motion to accept the minutes?
Do we have a second?
Probably one change, though. Simple. Unless Kyle
I'm
was
sorry, could you say, sorry?
just in the members present.
Modifications?
Oh,
Yeah,
Kyle?
it might just be a modification there.
okay, yep, thank you.
All right, do we have a second?
I'll second.
And then modifications, we have one for striking out Kyle out of the roll call. He's listed as excused and present. And then I just had one modification under public hearing. The first one, 2543, last paragraph in discussion. Should be architectural, not just architecture at the end of the line. Stated location of the lift at the rear of the property follow the architectural massing.
Okay, architect, yep.
So. Any other comments or changes to the minutes? All in favor of the revised minutes? Aye. Nay? Minutes are adopted. First up, we have a public hearing. The board will conduct the public hearing on today's agenda. First, the applicant or the applicant's representative will be invited to describe the proposed scope of work and present any material and documentation regarding the proposal to the board. Next, persons wishing to speak in favor of the proposal will be given an opportunity to address the board. Then, persons who wish to speak in opposition to the proposal will be allowed to address the board. Finally, the applicant or a representative will be given the opportunity to make closing comments to the board. Following public comment, the board may vote to approve with conditions, or deny the application just heard. The board may also decide to hold its decision until the next public hearing. If the hearing is closed, no additional information will be allowed into the record except for information that the board may request. That information will be available for public review with board staff. Kate, will you introduce the first application, please?
Sure, thank you. Good morning. The first application is CA-26-01. It is a certificate of appropriateness for 300-310 Montgomery Street, which is St. Paul's Church. The application is for site improvements, and St. Paul's is a protected site. And here today are Terry Horst, and if you could come up to the mic and describe your project.
Hi. So we're proposing to...
I'm sorry, can you please introduce yourself?
Oh, sorry. Terry Horst Landscape Architecture.
Thank you.
So we're proposing to repave the existing parking lot adjacent to west of the existing church building. So currently it is paved and it's kind of starting to fall apart. We're having some sinkholes and potholes, so it is basically an important thing to do right now. Also, we're looking to create some improvements for circulation on the site. So right now, the main entrance is, to enter the parking lot is to the, there's an easement to the west of the parking lot that everybody accesses, and it is a shared easement with the adjacent building. So that's kind of a congested flow, but we're proposing a dedicated entrance and exit with a one-way parking pattern to improve that condition. So people will be able to come into the parking lot near the building. We're proposing a guardrail along the building to protect the building on that end, and then be able to circulate through and exit out a little farther away from the building, only to improve site issues. There's been some site problems with when exiting on the right-of-way, because the building, it's right next to the building and the sidewalk. So what happens if there's pedestrians walking on the sidewalk and a car is pulling out, they don't always see the pedestrian, so there is a conflict there. And I think if, is there an aerial photo if you went up to the first page? I don't have, okay, I thought we had an aerial.
Yeah, there aerials right
Oh, there it is, okay. So, and it's hard to see because of the trees. So basically, when they leave on that right there, right where that gentleman is standing on the left image, so there's the sidewalk, so there's pedestrians, and it's a busy sidewalk down in that area. So, so that's one of the reasons why we're proposing to have the dedicated entrance and exit there. We will be taking down the wall and the 2 trees and planting new trees and having a lower wall and, you know, a similar appearance to that, but still low enough so you have visibility over the top of it when you're coming in and out of the parking lot.
Any? Yeah, any comments or questions from the board at this time?
Is the sculpture going to be put back in place when you're done with the work?
Bill, can you, I think you've had conversations about the sculpture at the front entrance.
Briefly, it's the city's property. There was going to move it and where we were going to place the
Is, the intention, though, is the church would like to retain the sculpture, though, in that location? Okay. Okay, okay. So yeah, we'll have to clarify that, but yeah, the sculpture will be retained, is what you're saying. Okay.
Paul or Howard, any comments, questions?
Can you tell us a little bit about the guardrail that you'll be installing against the church?
Yeah, so it is basically a steel guardrail, you know, a box beam guardrail.
Showing the section of the new retaining wall, that's all, is that precast stone or is that
That's Hanover precast.
Hanover precast?
Yeah, so it's just modular built. It'll be double-sided, so you don't have a back of a retaining wall facing, so it's a dual-sided
And
block.
it's like the random ashlar pattern kind of picking up
Yeah.
on the building?
Yeah. So, and there's various colors, color mixes we can select from to work with the building.
Are those called out? I don't recall seeing anything called out for like color choices.
The colors, I show a picture of it, but I don't know if I specify the color of the pattern.
If you could just send that to Kate,
Okay.
so we just have it documented, that'd be.
Yeah,
that'd be
okay,
good.
we'll talk about it.
All right. With the public hearing, are there anybody here in the audience today wishing to speak in favor of this project? Hearing none, seeing none, okay. Is there anyone here wishing to speak against this project? Hearing none, seeing none, thank you. Public hearing is now closed.
Public comment.
Public comment is now closed, sorry, thank you. Board, any other discussion, questions, issues with what is proposed here in front of us? If not, if we have a motion to move forward.
I'll motion to accept the proposal as submitted. I'll move to accept the proposal as submitted.
Howard, you want to second that, you said? I'd like to add the caveat that just we'll get the color of the stone submitted via email, whatever, to staff. If you're amenable to that amendment. All in favor of the motion on the table as amended?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, great project.
Are Our next application actually is CA-2602, but that is on hold. So that is, those are the, that concludes the public hearing portion of our agenda, and we'll move on to old business. And the first item under old business, first and only item under old business is minor site plan review 2025-163. It's for 713 through 15 East Genesee Street. This is for facade alterations, including window replacement. The property is listed in the city's historic properties list. It is National Register eligible. And the applicant, who's here today, had requested, so the board will see that there is additional materials in your packet. It's not, at the last meeting it was a discussion about window replacement. This packet includes actually the entire extent of the alterations to the facade that the Hilton Company, if I'm not mistaken, or are seeking, and the applicants have asked for some preliminary review to be able to take those comments back to the owners, and to the corporation to discuss. So, with that,
Fantastic. So this is just review and comment.
it is just review and comment
Great.
at this point. Yeah.
Thank
Hello,
you.
my name's Manesh Patel, Minesh Patel.
Welcome.
Thank you. So first, I have to apologize. We had a big mistake. Calendars got crossed up, and we did not mean to be a no-show on the last meeting, but we had it on the wrong dates, and that's on us. So apologies for that, first of all. Yeah, so we heard the comments. I mean, read the comments, shouldn't say heard the comments, read some of the comments. We went back in as a team and saying, look, before we put out a formal proposal, let's talk about what works, what doesn't work. You know, we're kind of in the middle of, you know, trying to balance what our brand's looking for, what the town preservation board, and speed to market, honestly. You know, part of this whole project, our acquisition of this hotel, was that it doesn't work right now, and the only way it's going to work is with a national brand on it that gets us to where we need to be on a business side of things, but understanding that we got to address, make everyone try to find a happy medium between all of this. So that's why we're here. We thought it'd be more efficient instead of just submitting something to at least get some preliminary feedback and seeing, you know, what direction we can go, what works, what doesn't work. So if there's a particular starting point, I mean, maybe we can start on the windows. I know we're showing the elevation now, since that was addressed last time.
Sure. However you want to go through, but we were just, last time we were just aware of the windows, and we made comment that we'd like to work with you to make this a National Register property, to allocate preservation tax credit to this project, which would overall help the budget. So that's what our purview was in those comments. So if you want to start with windows and work your way around the building.
So we did,
right ahead.
before we acquired it, we checked with town, I don't think we checked with the board itself, but we checked with various officials, and they had, I don't know if that was me, you know, and they said it's not currently on the register, it's not on the federal, state, I don't know if it was local, but we checked, so we were like, okay, because part of, again, our timing of this is schedule and what we can do, right? So we were under the impression that working with our brand, hey, this is what we're going to be able to do. There's no real requirements. There's some maybe input and things like that, but no actual, you know, I may not be saying it right, but, you know, not a registry or something else that we have strict guidelines that we need to follow. So that was the original intent, and that's why, you know what, the windows were submitted where they were. Hearing what was said, we are looking now, it's, I think, later on in your package, but there's a submittal now on the various windows that are being looked at, which is more aligned with what is on the building now. I know the board had asked for pictures. Did we get pictures of the existing? Okay, so it should have been submitted the existing windows and what's being proposed.
I'm sorry. I did not receive any images of the existing windows.
Sorry about
that, yeah.
No, these are not, this is just proposed changes we were looking to make. So it was, I know he was trying to, I thought he got it to you guys, and I apologize if he didn't, but the windows that are being proposed now are, you know, in the spirit of what is there, right? It's the split windows, it's not a single, just glass. We would like to try to keep these non-operable versus what's there now. But this, you know, more resembles what is there now, and the existing windows, and more than the glass, the frames are destroyed. They are rotted to the core. Once we actually peeled one back, the inside of the frames are just gone. So it needs some work.
How many windows total are we talking in the building?
A lot? Does that answer? It's on the, I think, the
Yeah, like
last page.
330 or so, I think.
336.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, sharing just the magnitude of how many, you know, how many windows are in this building. So
The other thing is on the first floor, at least street side and I think wrapping around the building, the existing windows were changed with just basically storefront windows. And that was prior to our acquisition, so, you know, that's kind of what led us to make the last proposal we did.
The new windows that are proposed, can they be converted to operable, or they are actually just fixed panels that resemble double?
We, for safety and just energy, you know, we really don't want them to be. Could we? I'm sure we'd have to have a, I know the brand is gonna make them no more than 4 inches purely for safety, you know, and then whatever we have to do for energy related is main reasons we don't. And the other thing is, honestly, we don't want people smoking in the building and hanging out, and that's, even when you have 4 inches, you know, people want to stick their head out and try to smoke. So we've really found that keeping them closed at least will make 90% of the population go outside if you want to have a cigarette or smoke.
But the product you're proposing, like, it can operate, right? It's not,
They're fixed. They're non-operable.
okay.
So it's a double hung non-operable window. But there's an option for a 4-inch governor, you're saying on that?
We would have to put something. We've done it at other places, different brands than this one, but yeah, there's a device or something you put on the jamb that stops it from opening over 4 inches.
Okay. And these windows are aluminum or what?
They're
Currently, we have wood windows that are rotting, so the proposed windows that you're looking to install are
Vinyl.
vinyl.
Vinyl to mimic the look of, yeah.
And they're shown as black, so labeled as black matte.
Correct.
For the color?
Correct.
Okay. Board, any questions on the fixed double hung windows before we move on to then, as we move around the building? Any comments, questions?
They look like what's in line, they're there already, so I mean, I like that, that's better than the last time. I'm more concerned with this, whatever this
Okay.
is gonna be. Ruining the way this building looks with these, with these colors, and I'm colorblind, so I'm not even sure what they are, but not a fan of the changes to the front of this building.
But on the windows, if,
Windows,
I'm concerned with the material choice. The vinyl doesn't have the same longevity as wood windows or even fiberglass. Have you looked into other options that would last longer?
We did not want to create a maintenance nightmare, honestly, for ourselves and, you know, what we're going to be reinvesting in inside and outside, so we did not want to do wood. The brand is not a big fan of wood now, and that's why we had looked and opted at, and the cost, all right? Budget is a constraint, I mean, for any project, so that was some of the direction of what we were going with. Let's try to get at least the colors, let's get the panes and everything correct, and try to find a medium.
one request that I would ask for is just to have dimensions of the existing windows, right? So when we do a window application, we ask for a window survey of the building, and there was apparently a miscommunication, but if we can get dimensions of, you've got 5 or 6 different window sizes that you're proposing here, if we can get the window dimensions of the width of the sash, the width of the stiles and the rails and the meeting rails, so we can align with what you're showing here, because
Okay,
one component is we don't want to lose any glazing area.
got it.
And so usually vinyl's a little chunkier to support such a large window, so we'd like to compare glazing area as well.
Okay, so just good dimensions of the existing windows and what is there now?
Correct.
Right, okay. Yeah, we'll just try to line it up what you see here and, so it's side by side.
Yeah, just a picture and then
Yep.
just dimensions added to it, it's fine. Okay, any other window comments, or we're good to move around? All right, please continue, sir.
Okay, so I guess since we're looking at it, let's just address it, right? So the elevations so this is, what our brand wants to kind of look at and see, right? So we're trying to balance, it's not a new build, but it's taking some of the character for what they're looking and what we thought and the brand thought works on this building. Again, when we originally did all of this, there was no talk about, historic building and what does that do and where does it fit. So this is kind of where we're at. The brand was kind of, okay, we like this, we can see this, right? It's not, a suburban hotel, but it's retaining some of the character, some of the elements of the downtown location. But it is a new ethos pretty much on, I'd say 75, 80% of the building.
And that ethos, I'm assuming, just based on what I'm seeing in the drawings, the ground floor wall of the limestone will be retained as is, and then the ethos is applied to the upper stories?
Correct.
Is
And
that
it's
reading
that band, I believe, in the middle. Oh, man, I should have. Can you scroll down just a little bit to the scale? Is the second floor, I thought that was the existing stone, is that P4? Or,
P4 color. P4 is called out as IFAS.
it is an ephes then, yes. So it is, just the bottom limestone was staying.
And just the south facade on Genesee, the ground floor return walls, that's all ephes all the way around the rest of the building from ground to roof. As indicated on the drawings.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm-
okay.
I got this little drawing and my eyes aren't so
Yeah.
good. I guess I need new glasses, but sorry about that.
I feel the pain as well, so just making sure we're seeing what we're seeing here. Okay. Color choices, you're reflecting on brand, you're saying? Like part of the
Brand, yeah.
branding? Brand
This
of-
is some of the things they want, like that blue, especially if you see that is kind of where, that is their Hampton quote-unquote accent that people are familiar with, and they wanted to see it somewhere on the building. Honestly, if somebody says we can't do it, we can't do it, and we go back to the brand, and you're saying there's certain things they would work with us on, they're like, okay, pick a different color, right? But certain things they do want to see and try to keep, so it's, again, a balancing. Where do we go back with, and what do we do? Where do we pick our battles, really?
Right, okay.
So what is the main push behind the ephes? It's the look, or it's the insulation? Like, what is
Look,
the look? It just seems like a huge move that's not reversible. It kind of destroys the brick exterior of this building for a look.
and then, there are some issues with the brick. you know, that is it's gonna need to be repointed, you know, there's some window sills, the whole thing just needs a lot of work, right? So when we're also looking at the budget of this and saying, okay, what are we looking at here? I mean, just to redo brick with brick and repoint and, you know, repair all the lentils and stuff, we were over $1.4 million to do like for like, right? And that was not in the budget to say, okay, let's just repoint everything and keep it there. I mean, it's more expensive, so that was one of the reasons. And EFS was there, it gave us an extra layer of insulation. There's still, obviously, we just can't go over it. The brick would have to be secured and whatever else to the base, so it's still secure, but reasons for it, I guess.
Is this a solid brick building, right? Solid brick walls? Or is it like block with brick facade? Do you know?
I do not know. Do you know, Naeem? You don't know? I don't know.
From the 20s, right? 20s, 1927.
As far as the signage go, are you gonna replicate the Parkview Hotel, putting the sign at the top and also the roof line? That changes?
Yeah, so the current, I mean, yeah, so the current sign's exactly right. Have it on both sides of the building, high, prominent, and I don't know if that was original or if it was like when that was added or was there. I mean, with 81 now coming down to street level, right? That used to be a billboard, obviously, going down 81. Anymore, once all of the road work and everything is done, it doesn't really serve a purpose. So I would, I mean, again, like some input, I mean, what would the board, this is some areas we have some flexibility, right? So if it's saying that, hey, can we get rid of it? Let's get rid of it, right? You know, part of the whole, again, balancing this with the brand, honestly, I don't know even what the sign is shown on the rendering is like great, but you know what? It's something the brand wanted. Now, if we can come back in and saying, hey, look, that we can't get that approved, does it make sense just where the current, you know, overhang is on the front of the building, on the bottom center of the building there over the canopy? It may be just some signage there, right? Anymore, the signage isn't a billboard, right? We're getting most of the traffic through online, and it's just more to identify where you're going. So right at the bottom, right where the Hampton may be the only signage we really have.
Are you going to be, is the main entrance for people actually going to be on the rear of the building?
Yes,
the
so we're going to
parking?
talk about the site plan and kind of the
Okay.
modification in the back, but we can jump to that.
Yeah, or I
but
don't know. I
we
was just
have to
thinking in terms of
maintain-
the signage and,
Yeah.
but maybe signage is later anyway.
How that relates, yeah.
Also, I have a question about the roof. It looks like in this drawing, you've fundamentally altered the roof line? Yeah, I mean, that's,
Correct.
why?
Again, it's trying to take, like, making it this, if you just leave the ballast, it doesn't make sense with an EFS building with these things on top, right? It's like you're mismatching and doing everything else, so overall direction was, okay, well, how do you marry kind of all of what's going on and make this work?
I think if the brand cares so much about making a building that looks a certain way, why don't we build a new building that looks a certain way? I think we're really damaging this historic asset. And yes, maybe there's nothing in place saying, you know, the preservation code says you can't cover the building in EFS, but it just feels wrong to take a historic asset like this and just completely cover it up for the sake of the Hampton brand. You know, it seems like there's got to be some compromise where we can keep something of our history in this building
And that's
Still
what
make it
we're
a
here to
functioning
kind of
hotel.
work through, right? I mean,
Yeah.
again, I'm looking for feedback. We're going to look and observe. I mean, honestly, for me, I think, you know, if we can look at this and saying, okay, you know what, with all of the things we have to kind of balance here, The front facade, I agree with everyone, is the key. It's the main driver, what everyone's going to be seeing, right, regardless, you know, especially as more traffic is going to be driven once 81's down to street level, right? The sides and the rear of the building, right, less relevant. I get it, maybe that's my perspective and maybe not the board's, but this is the street side of it that if we can do whatever we can and convince the brand, listen, leave us alone here, right? Let us keep the character, let us repoint, let us do what we have to do on the street side. That makes more sense. Now, on the sides and rear of the building, again, for budgets and everything else, we may not have really an option to repoint and redo all of the work that's required. And I think, yes, you lose the original building character, but from a visual standpoint, at least when somebody's looking at it, we're maintaining it.
Hampton has managed other historic hotels across the country without incorporating any EFS board, and instead they've used branding on awnings and other kind of more in-scale signage. Is there an openness to considering preserving the look of this building and focusing on other ways to incorporate the brand that are less intrusive and incongruent?
So again, I go back to what, you know, keeping the front of the building what it is, and like just right now where it says Parkview Hotel, that would be the branding. Honestly, that's what I'm saying would be the branding. Eliminate the EFS, eliminate the blues, the different colors and all of it there. Even the, I'm gonna butcher this, but are they, what's at the top of?
Balustrade?
Thank you, balusters. Keep that there, right? So the entire front of the building is original, it's two character, and then to balance what we're looking for is allow us to do something else on the sides and the rear of the building, which, you know, you've got an alley that is maybe 6, 8 feet away on one side of it, and then, you know, there's nothing really on the other side.
Can we just modify to say we'll keep the front of the building as is and the two short sides? Those are pretty visible when you're driving down Genesee Street.
The 4 bays,
Yeah.
We can look at it.
the main front massing, yeah. So
I
it's,
mean, it's a one-way there, so you mainly only see this short side. But when the 81 changes, I'm not sure what the visibility is from the other direction.
I just can't, like I said, I can't, we were concerned about the way the windows looked, and then to see this elevation, I can't, but it destroys the building. It destroys the historic, that's a fairly complete historic block, and that will fundamentally alter the way that building looks, and that will fundamentally alter that entire block of the street. And and it looks, it's my opinion, but it looks terrible.
I just want to point out to the board that even though this is a comment-only item, your comment can be that you are absolutely not in favor of the
Oh,
proposal.
I'm absolutely not in favor of.
So get everything on the record,
Right.
but the point is that you don't have to go with what's proposed if
Okay.
you believe it's destroying the historic fabric of the building.
so, thank you. So let's hear what the proposal is for the remainder of the site and the rear elevation and the site changes.
So when we're saying the front, I mean, just to kind of wrap that up, if I'm hearing correctly, where the side elevation, the bump out is right there is what the board would like to try to, you know, ideally preserve what those 4 windows through that area there.
Correct, the 4 bays, the front massing of the building, we would look at, as you've heard, that we would look at retaining as.
And that's how it was designed, you know,
Right, as
this side
original.
is still.
The remainder of the building, let's hear what your proposals are, we see what they are, but I think we're more amenable to higher definitions of change back there. And if
So-
that's going to be the rear, that's going to be your main entrance.
So the rear entrance, so right now, if you're coming, and I'm not sure how many people have actually came through the hotel, you're walking through a stairwell to get into the back of the building. You walk down the corridor to get to where the front desk is, as if you're parking in the rear. Fire code and brand really does not like coming through a stairwell to get to your lobby. So what they're proposing is on, can I walk over there?
Yeah, absolutely. We won't hear you as well, but
I can get pretty loud, so.
just for the recording on the mics, but.
So the current rear entry is here. Right, and you walk through.
That's the rear parking lot.
That's the front.
Yeah, no, it's the rear parking lot. The building is below the handicap spaces there, ADA spaces.
Okay, so yes, so the existing entry is here, right, where you come in through the building and you go through, and you walk down, and then the lobby's like towards the front of the building.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the main area of change of what we're gonna be looking for. So on this corner, there's a series of, I think, 3 windows right now. Looking to build cantilever, maybe either metal awning or something else there. Putting in stairs here and basically making another entrance here, which would be the primary ways to access then the lobby area. It won't be a ramp or anything else. ADA accessibility and everything will be maintained through the front entrance. But this is just a secondary means to get everyone in, registered, and everything else. Once I think you're primarily in the building, most of the guests are going to come right through that back door. It's shorter. I mean, it's winters and everything else. We all know. Closest point, and that's a big area we really pushed our brand with and saying this just does not make sense, and they can't get over that we're going to walk people through a stairwell to get to our main arrival entry point. So that is the main, site kind of work that would be going on on the building. I mean, it's tucked away, it's in the back. I don't think, again, you see it from the front or anything else. So that was the plan for this area. The other thing they're talking about, and this is where we're looking at, is in the rear parking lot area, is to build some landscape beds and putting in some different areas to just kind of make it so you know that this is where you enter, kind of where you exit, and where we go through.
Upgrade the experience from the parking lot.
Right.
That's fantastic. Vegetation choices to designate your walkways or make it known this is where you are. So I'm highly supportive of that. And I would just say I'm highly supportive of the changes on the back facade with the new staircase and door there. As we look at preservation, like that is spot on as we review major changes and alterations to buildings. It's not the primary facade. So kudos to you for seeing that and finding that and utilizing those niches to allow you the new access into the building that you're looking for to make it operable and work for what you need. So I thank you for that. That's right up our alley. I think in general, what you're hearing from the board is the south facade elevation, we should treat it as kind of a historic renovation project. And then the remainder, including the 4-bay block, and then the back side of the building, I don't really have an issue with the IFAS, and that's me as an individual on the remainder of the back of the building. And your coloring presenting to the rear, to your parking lot where your 90% of your flow is coming from, makes sense to me for branding, but you also have a brand of a historic facade facing the public sphere of Foreman Park. Right, so you kind of hybridized the project, right? You've got the historic component, and then you've got a new element to really signify this is your new building, right? A new hotel space. Generally, vinyl windows, we don't approve from historic board perspective. We like to use in-kind materials that are there at the time of the building is built. So wood, metal, aluminum, steel. We do look at fiberglass windows because they retain historic sight lines and they're strong and they're durable. They're long-lasting, a lot better than vinyl. Just want to make sure I hit all the notes that I've written down here.
So would the board be, again, open to what we're talking about on the front and the wing walls, I'm calling it, of the building, to maintain either the...
Treat it as a historic preservation project.
Exactly, but then on the rear sides, back of the building, look at maybe accepting a vinyl or, more economical material or seeing where it is. Again, I have not priced out what PVC windows cost, right? If there's not a significant difference, we'll run them around the building.
Okay, well, Howard? Howard? I just want to get a check. Are you okay with what Mr. Patel had just said with maintaining the front of the building as a historic preservation project, including the 4-bay deep?
Yeah,
The
as long as
main-
we're not changing anything specifically on
And,
the sides
and
of the street.
then the rear of the building, the rear side of the building, we are open to what is shown with the IFAS covering and the coloring pattern to brand the building? Okay. Nicole, what is your feeling? What is your sense?
I would be open to the EFS just on the rear part of the building facing the parking lot.
Just the rear facade?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I agree with Nicole. That's where I'd be okay with it. Keep the front, keep the roof line as is.
Okay, so just to clarify, Nicole is just saying the north facade only is IFAS.
Yes.
And so east and west walls as is?
Sorry, I'm just
I'm
trying to
confused.
clarify.
Go ahead.
So, Nicole, you're saying just the west, the
Just the
north facing
north facing parking
alone?
lot.
Okay. And Bob, you're saying just the north
Yeah,
facing?
yeah.
And not
The north elevation, that's fine, that's great. That'll even spruce up the
So
building.
these east-west, so this
Yeah.
is the west wall, that's the 4 block that remains as a preservation
Yes,
project.
exactly.
The remainder of the building, as they're showing IFAS.
Yes, what that's.
Nicole is saying only IFAS on north.
Oh, okay, see, this is
So are
where
you
my colorblindness is a
Yep,
problem.
well,
I
so all
apologize.
this is patterned to show the color of the new siding.
I mean, I'm less concerned about the sides of the building, honestly. I would be amenable to that, as is shown. But yes, but the south elevation, for me, has got to be left alone as is with the balustrade. It's all got to be, to change that would be a huge error, I think.
Thank you. Hillary?
I'm on board with Howard and Bob.
With Howard and Bob. Okay, all right. Does that make sense to you, what we were
Sure.
just saying? I can get up and point out to you.
Yeah, if
for-
you don't mind. I think I'm following.
Yes. No, so 3/4 of the board is saying historic renovation project. Branding to your brand. Same thing here on the north elevation, branding, IFAS, colors, that's your brand. And then the east wall, same thing, just reverse, historic preservation project, branding to the company, historic preservation project, maintaining balustrade, fenestration pattern as is, right? 3-point brick. We just have one board member saying this whole wall section on the east and west should be treated as the front of the preservation project. Correct?
Yep.
Thanks. Does that suffice for comment?
It does, if you can take that back. I think that we might want to then reconsider or consider the signage as well. I mean, that could actually come as sort of a separate application or a separate discussion, unless this is what you are.
No,
Yeah,
no,
you want to propose
I
at this
think if
point.
we're going to the historic nature of the building, that sign cannot go there at all. And then at the top of the buildings, I think I want to just get rid of it. I mean, it's a big steel structure, it's huge.
Oh, yeah,
I
and
mean,
it's actually, we think it dates to the early 2000s anyway, the Parkview Hotel's sign. So, go ahead. with the-
Sorry,
yeah.
just the signage component, the front canopy, what Mr. Patel said, like, just rebranding that, I think is sufficient, because that's your only sign on the front of the building. I mean, if you want to accentuate with a flag or, something like that, I see no issue, but having that as your only fixed sign on the front of the building and the removal of the park view off the top balustrade.
So that is my opinion and what I would push for, right? Again, we will take this all kind of to the brand rework what we kind of hear between here, come back in then with a formal submission, and saying, okay, here's what I was able to get with the brand, here's what they really pushed back on, now where do we land? I think that's how I see this progressing. Just a question, if we're, what does this do with timelines and everything else? So the board approves and then,
The
or
board will-
denies or
so-
whatever.
So we have another meeting in 3 weeks. If you have the opportunity to go and discuss with your brand and are able to submit revised plans, the board can make its final comment in 3 weeks, which it will supply to zoning. And presuming that we're, the board is able to get positive response, it's a minor site plan review, correct? So that can be quickly administered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions? Appreciate everyone's feedback. Thank you again.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. Greatly appreciate it. Good luck with the project.
Okay. It's my turn next. I buried my, hold on, here it is. Okay. So the next item is new business. It's also a minor site plan review. 911, it's minor site plan review number 2026, -5. Excuse me. The address is 911 North Salina Street. These are front facade alterations. The property is located in the North Salina Street Historic District.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Tom DiTullio, architect, of Thomas J. DiTullio Architects. I'm the PR guy in charge of this one. How are we doing today?
Great, good morning, thank you.
So the only scope of work we have right now is we're replacing the existing aluminum frame door in the front with more of an artistic design with a lot of wrought iron. That's more for security purposes because our front windows are secured by interior rolled grills, so that we're only deployed at night so we can keep them safe in this dispensary. And then
I'm sorry, could you say that again about the windows, the
Interior?
grills?
the grills are on the interior.
Interior.
And they're just deployed at night?
At
did you
night,
say?
correct.
Okay, thank you.
And the rest of it is just basically cleaning, painting, and repairing the existing windows. We're going to change the color from the god-awful red on the top floor to a matte black. That's just my personal opinion that it's ugly, but. And then the other repair work is going to be replacing any kind of damaged brick. The owners have gone over to Paragon Supply to find bricks that can match it, so we can historically match the colors of the brick that have to be pulled out, which are only about a dozen or so, but it needs some severe repointing in the front of it, and they have grout matched for the existing grout there. And we'll add a little more lime to the grout, because they don't know that, but I'm going to tell them to do that anyways, because type S and M mortar is going to be a little bit too strong and may cause shearing in the brick. That's my experience of doing historical repairs. You need a little softer grout. The existing canopies are there. We're just going to clean and paint them, or clean and just repair them, leave them the way they are at the present time. And we have a new sign going in. There's a sign diagram because my AutoCAD sits there and blocks out all the brick. So it's just aluminum letters over existing brick matching the 1911, 1919 that's above it. You want to keep the same character with this, what's there already.
And just to clarify too, that zoning does allow the second story signage in this case, because they will be occupying both floors.
I was going to ask if occupancy of the whole building or not. So both floors? Is the sign lit?
Yes,
Illuminated
it's
channel letters, yeah.
illuminated channel sign.
Okay. And it's a pretty big sign. Just making sure, it's not our purview, but making sure that it meets zoning requirements?
It
Okay,
does.
thank you. General reporting of the front facade, that's good. Maintaining the historic nature and trying to match brick, that's positive. I think this was an auto showroom or something when it was built?
Okay, so A little bit of homework was done on this one. So what is the last legal occupant of this was basically a furniture store and a cafe. And that's circa 2002. It's had multiple, 2002. So, oh, did it? So it has to be prior than that then.
Any questions or comments from the board?
I like the door. I think the door is a nice addition.
We're trying to find something that looks
Pretty unique.
Yeah.
aesthetically pleasing and still being secured. It beats the hell out of having aluminum doors with bars on them, you know?
I mean, this is just comment, so.
The top windows are wood. Right. We're just gonna repair them and repaint them.
We looked at this building 5 years ago. Someone had a project here for apartment conversion. That was you? See? I'm not losing my marbles.
Yes, what a memory, what a memory.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm looking at, because I'm like, those used to be garage doors on either side, and then we're looking at the windows on the third floor to return them to 3 windows, 3 units instead of the 2 big units that were cut in. I'm looking at this building and I'm going, there's something else going on here, so.
How close is this weed store to the Biscotti Cafe?
Couple
Okay,
blocks,
all right.
2 blocks, 700 to the 900, so.
They're gonna be happy, yeah, they're gonna be, okay, very good.
Comment in the positive here for support on this project?
I didn't hear, just want to make sure you're going in the right direction. This is a rendering, not actually what the building looks like right now?
No, that's actually a photograph of how the building looks right now.
With the sign, yeah, the sign is the rendering.
Yeah, the sign is the rendering added to it.
Pay no attention.
Just making sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so, I mean, I submitted, if the sign is compliant with zoning and you're allowed on the second floor, that works, that's correct under the law. Our purview, from my perspective, you're repointing the facade, you're matching the existing brick, you're doing that.
We're gonna take any of those, like, all the wood nailers that were there for any kind of post signage and any kind of
Clear out.
electrical equipment that may have been abandoned there. We're gonna remove, like, there's a gong there from the old sprinkler system there's 2 of them now. So
Okay.
we're gonna take one of the old ones off and
So
then we'll
you're-
patch the hole.
So you're doing a facade renovation,
We're doing a repair.
repair.
Let's use the correct words.
Well, repair, that's fine, but you're doing it with an eye towards
historical,
renovation to
right.
protect the historic facade.
We're gonna protect the existing
Integrity.
materials and color and pattern of the block, so.
Okay, and the doors fit the existing opening, so there's no modification there.
Other than paint, we're gonna paint the aluminum to a flat black. Everything, so.
Sounds like a good investment to us.
New life in a
New
building,
life,
that's
yeah,
great.
yeah. All right, comment in the positive, so
Cool.
good luck and thank you very much.
We need to come back for any kind of public hearing or anything like that, then? Well, you're gonna convey this over the zoning board so we can get the planning and zoning all happy now?
There you go.
Okay, it's working now, okay. I will provide that comment back to zoning, minor site plan review, and can be, there is a special, yeah. You were, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm gonna blame that on the software for the city because it shows I tried to
Yeah,
download it
you're
and their
submitted.
stuff.
It's submitted in our portal, so it's a
Well,
special use
It
permit.
was done prior to the change in zoning too, and your software didn't take it. No, let's not go there, right?
Yeah. So around 2 weeks ago, you submitted it. We have yet to review it in full, but it will go to a city planning commission when we deem it ready to go.
Okay,
So it's
thank you
one
very
more
much.
public meeting for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay.
Up next,
Okay, up next, final item of business is actually, we have two National Register nominations. The State Preservation Office has asked for LPB comment regarding these nominations. They'll be going up in front of the State Review Board next month, or maybe in March. The first one we are well aware of, know quite well, 1010 East Washington Street, the Fiesinger House. And that has been nominated both for its architecture as well as its historic associations. I think we all know the house really quite well, so it's great to see that. I know they are looking to use the tax credits, and I'm presuming that that is also the case for the factory building as well, which is the other one. The Coughlin Brothers, Babson Brothers Factory. I enjoyed reading about the candy factory and the fact that the Coughlin Brothers really made their name manufacturing or making salted peanuts. Yeah. But so the building was built in 27, I believe. Yes, and then World War II era rationing put the confectionery business to bed, and in came the second business, Babson Brothers, and they were doing farm products. So the application did also talk a lot about the flexibility of the design of the property, of the building, the factory design. So it was an interesting application. I did notice that they had put the wrong spelling for the address for that one, Belden, rather than Belden.
I didn't catch that.
I know, that was.
I did, because I put it in maps and it didn't come up. Is this the building?
No.
Across the street.
Factory.
Popcorn factory.
Yeah, the popcorn factory, yeah. Oh, and also it does include the Quonset hut that's right next door,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
Is this a project coming through? Is why it's being submitted, or is this being submitted just because
It's
it found the
I
history?
would think it's in anticipation of a future project. I imagine the board will be seeing a
I've
project.
been waiting for something for 20 years on this building.
Yeah, seriously. It's
a
great
vital
building.
link to the Inner Harbor, to the Park Ave neighborhood. Like it's just sitting there. So it's fantastic to see. And it's well written. I learned a lot reading this, and it's the Wallier company and the
Wallier
North
connection,
Yeah, their connection. Their houses are still on Kirkpatrick Street. So yeah, that's pretty cool. 700, I think 706. Joseph Wallier.
I do have additional photographs of them if you're interested, but if there are no other comments, I will certainly let the State Preservation Office know that the board is in support of the nominations.
Yes.
Great.
Emphatically, yes.
Enthusiastically.
Yep. Great. That's it. That's all I have.
Thank you, Kay. Can we get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Seconds. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Good job, everybody.
All right.
That was a tough discussion. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the support.
Well done, Captain. Bye, Captain.